Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tatum Show. We have breaking news. This is exactly why I'm going live. A whole bunch of shenanigans happened over the weekend, so we got a bunch of other sugar honey iced tea to talk about. But I want to start with our breaking news segment, and it is that the Attorney General, Todd Blanche, has officially filed charges against that nut job that tried to kill President Donald Trump. Welcome to the Tatum Show.
I want everybody in this room to have that same spirit, that same identity carried in your life.
Make sure that you go through life and find your purpose.
And we don't do this just to get a pat on the back. We do it because we came here to win.
And it starts with you understanding that God has a purpose for you.
This is the time to be more bold than ever before.
We're all Americans at the end of the day, and we should love one another. We should be focused on what's right for our country. All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we get to the breaking news, I want to tell you what we're going to talk about today on the show. We're going to talk about Donald Trump and his 60 Minutes interview, which is completely out of control. I'm glad that he blasted that reporter for being such a dummy. Also, Jimmy Kimmel said the craziest thing on planet Earth about floaters and President Trump, and which is insane. We're going to talk about that. Democrat leftist reactions to him almost getting killed the other day. We got to talk about that. Ballroom security. As a former law enforcement officer, I want to touch on ballroom security and how these things need to change in the future. Erica Kirk. For some reason, people are still stupid enough to talk so crazy and evil about Erica Kirk. She can't even go to a correspondence dinner and take a picture without people being stupid. So we're going to talk about all of this stuff on the Tatum Show. But let's get to the first thing, breaking news. And shout out to the team. They built this shirt super quick. They did it, made it happen. I'm still standing for you cowards out here that want to kill our president. You can get that at tatumstore.com, tatumstore.com. All right. Let's get to the first clip. Dum Dum was charged. Roll the clip.
I want to make this clear. This man was a floor above the ballroom with hundreds of federal agents between him and the President of the United States. The Department of Justice approaches incidents like this with urgency and clarity of purpose. Violence has no place in civic life. It cannot and will not be used to disrupt democratic institutions or intimidate those who serve them, and it certainly cannot continue to be used against the President of the United States. We are investigating this matter fully. We will apply the law fairly, and we will ensure that accountability is swift and certain. But we also should recognize what did not happen. Law enforcement did not fail. They did exactly what they are trained to do. This was not an accident. It was the result, as we know now, of preparation. But the men and women who protected us that night were trained, professional, and had an enduring commitment to the rule of law. Today, the Department of Justice filed 3 federal charges in United States District Court against Cole Thomas Allen. The first count is attempted assassination of the President of the United States. This count is punishable by up to life in prison. The second count is interstate transportation of a firearm to commit a felony. This is punishable by up to 10 years in prison. And the third count is discharge of a firearm during a crime of violence, which is punishable by a mandatory minimum term of imprisonment of 10 years, a maximum of life, and the 10 years is consecutive to any other sentence imposed.
All right, let's talk about this. I think 100% this dude should get a life sentence. He should do life in prison. There's no question about it. Throw the mother freaking book at him. Assassination attempt. He tried to shoot people. He ended up shooting somebody during this thing. And he took a gun from California. Make an example out of this fool. Life. Matter of fact, give him life for each charge. I'm surprised they didn't charge him with attempted murder of everybody in the building. How did they know who he was going after? He was going after the president, who said he wasn't going to try to shoot his way through everybody to get to the president. He should do a long time in prison. And I will say this. Only thing I disagree with Todd on is that I know that Todd has to say what he has to say. He want to boast for the Secret Service and law enforcement or whatever the case may be. The truth is they did not fail. But I think that there was failures, if that makes sense. Ultimately, nobody got killed. So do you count that as a win or not? Or you count that as rolling the dice and hoping to God that nobody got killed? Because a whole bunch of people should have been killed. I do not understand, and even though he said that there's hundreds of officers in between and Secret Service agents in between them and the president, you still left the lobby open. I mean, you want to check a person's firearms at the door. You want to make sure people can't get from the ticket counter or the checkout counter or whatever the case may be to the actual venue with a gun. Think about it real quick, and then we're going to get to Trump's 60 Minutes. He checked into the hotel as a killer, and nobody knew about it. The man checked into the hotel with every intent to kill the president. And he was able to get there with guns. He was able to get down into the lobby with a gun. And they never shot him that I know of. So he slipped and fell, because outside of that, was it enough obstruction for them not to get to the president? Possibly. But I don't think that was a good job. They got to stop. It should never even be a close call like this. I don't know how we keep ending up in this situation. Let's get to Donald Trump in the 60 Minutes. Before we get there, I want to tell you about Verdict Bourbon. If you're looking for incredible bourbon, this is where you get it at. You must be 21. Make sure you drink responsibly. We advocate for responsible drinking. So get to it. Check out the reviews if you don't believe me. Best bourbon on the market. We're in all kind of restaurants now. We're in grocery stores. You name it, we're there. We're going to take over Arizona first, and then we're going to get all around the country, all right? So go there. You can order it online. We'll ship it right to your doorstep. Let's get to the 60 Minutes interview. Roll it.
The so-called manifesto is a stunning thing to read, Mr. President. He appears to reference a motive in it. He writes this, quote, administration officials, they are targets. And he also wrote this, I am no longer willing to permit a pedophile, rapist, and traitor to coat my hands with his crimes. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I was waiting for you to read that because I knew you would, because you're horrible people, horrible people. Yeah, he did write that. I'm not a rapist. I didn't rape anybody.
Do you think he was referring to you?
Excuse me. I'm not a pedophile. You read that crap from some sick person. I got associated with all stuff that has nothing to do with me. I was totally exonerated. Your friends on the other side of the plate are the ones that were involved with, let's say, Epstein or other things. But I said to myself, I'll do this interview, and I read the manifesto. He's a sick person. But you should be ashamed of yourself reading that, because I'm not any of those things.
Mr. President,
and
these are the gunman's words.
Excuse me. You shouldn't be reading that on 60 Minutes. You're a disgrace. But go ahead. Let's finish the interview.
The other thing that he wrote in
You're disgraceful.
Now, people are looking at this and saying, why would Donald Trump say that? Oh, this is true. No, it is a disgrace. Out of all the stuff he wrote in the manifesto, they're projecting this same rhetoric that got him shot, that got people running after him, the same rhetoric. This woman would never in her life think to bring something up like this to President Barack Obama or anybody else. You've never seen it. You never will see it. These people are a disgrace. And then she goes and says, oh, you think they're talking about you? It's like a gaslighting woman. You think they're talking about, yeah, you know what you think you're doing. Come on, there's more clips. The No Kings clip. No. He said he's not a king. Roll it.
The other thing in the manifesto that I think is worth looking at in terms of determining his motive is he had been staying at the hotel since Friday. He checked in, he said he had cased the place, and he wrote, what the hell is the Secret Service doing? And he wrote this, quote, I expected security cameras at every bend, bugged hotel rooms, armed agents every 10 feet, metal detectors out the wazoo. What I got is nothing. He wrote, like, this level of incompetence is insane. Sir, you have already had two attempted...
Well, he was pretty incompetent, too, because he got caught. And he got caught pretty easily. So I'd say he was pretty incompetent, too. I could take any event having to do with security or anything else. I can always find fault. Those guys did a good job last night. They did a really good job.
I mention that because, again, as his motive, and you brought this up, he had social media accounts that had anti-Trump and anti-Christian rhetoric.
You should read, why don't you read all the anti-Trump? Why don't you read it? You just did, so why don't you read it?
Well, he had a lot of anti-Christian rhetoric. He was part of a group called the Wide Awakes. He had attended a No Kings protest in California.
No Kings, yeah.
What did security tell you about what
See,
may have been his motives?
The reason you have people like that is you have people doing no kings. I'm not a king. What I am, if I was a king, I wouldn't be dealing with you.
Let's just keep it one. Let's keep it 100. When you look at what he said, why don't you read what he said about Christians? No. Because y'all don't want to play his actual words in the level of hatred. They want to frame him as, oh, this guy was mentally ill, and she brought up the whole pedophile thing. Quote what he said about Christians. Quote what he said about the president, how vile he was, how disrespectful he was to the office. Every American that can hear his rhetoric and words should be against what this man did. But they don't play his crazy stuff. They just promote what he said about President, him making these derogatory claims about Trump, but not all the other stuff about he want him to die and all kind of the crazy stuff. All right, let's get to the Southern poverty lawsuit. Southern law. I don't even remember the name of it. Roll it.
I see these no kings, which are funded just like the Southern Law was funded. You saw all that. Southern Law is financing the KKK and lots of other radical, terrible groups. And then they go out and they say, oh, we've got to stop the KKK. And yet they give them hundreds of thousands and even millions of dollars. It's a total scam run by the Democrats. It shows you that, like Charlottesville was all funded by the Southern Law. That was a Southern Law deal, too. And it was done to make me look bad, and it turned out to be a total fake. It basically was a rigged election. This was a part of the rigging of the election, and that's what you really should be doing. I mean, I hope one of your 60-minute episodes, which really hasn't changed very much from the last few years, I'm surprised, but one of those episodes should be on Southern Law and the fact that they spent millions and millions of dollars on absolute far right and just bad groups. And then they'd use those groups and they'd say, these are Republican groups and we're coming to your rescue. And they're the ones that have funded it, and they're the ones that keep them going.
And they use the excuse to say, oh no, we're funding informants. What they're doing is they're funding people to continue to antagonize, because the reason that they got in trouble was because they claimed informants, but they never gave the government they made any reports of findings, right? They go, well, we're funding informants. Well, what did you discover? What crime was committed? Oh, you have none. And if there is some, you didn't report it. You did not report it to law enforcement. So why would you fund an informant, but then don't disclose anything that the informant discovered? We know what y'all doing. They paying people to continue to be prolific and antagonizing, supporting these organizations that are racist. They probably are paying people to be racist in these organizations, to continue it, to continue to push it, to set up meetings, to set up protests. And they do it, and when it all hit the fan, they go, see, look at this racism. Oh, look at this study. This is why we got to do this. But then the left act like it's not happening. All right, last one from Trump about the NFL footage. He said this guy should play in the NFL. I mean, he was pretty fast, though. I ain't gonna even lie. Roll the clip.
You can see the gunman running through the metal detectors, and he fired off one or two rounds.
His speed was rather incredible, actually. He was like a blur.
How did he get that close with the place swarming with security?
I will say, look, I say it because I'm a big fan of the people, of law enforcement. And, you know, some of these people, they may be crazy, but they're not stupid, and they figure things out. He ran 45 yards, they say, and he just went to it, and then, boom, he popped through it. I mean, he ran like, I think the NFL should sign him up. He was fast. When you look at it on tape, it's almost like a blur.
Right.
But it was amazing, because as soon as they saw that, you could see them draw their guns. They were so professional, aim their guns, and then they took them down immediately.
Yeah, I have to admit that that was ultimately they did their job. And there was a little bit of a distance. I think we have a clip. Maybe we'll play it. Let's play it now. So you guys, I want to walk you guys through kind of what the lobby looks like, so you can kind of see what direction he ran, because it shows very clearly a guy did a presentation on this, and I thought he did an incredible job. So it shows how he ran through the lobby. This is a presentation from a YouTuber or Instagrammer or whatever you call him. He did an entire presentation on this, and I think it's this clip right there. So let's play this so you guys can see his flight travel. Like, where did he come from? Where did he start? Where he end up? And actually how far he was from the Correspondents' Dinner. Roll the clip.
Let me show you where the shooter at the White House Correspondents' Dinner ran through. He comes right past these 3 doors, and I want to know where that was. So it turns out the Hilton has a 3D tour of the whole place, and you'll see those 3 doors are right by the elevator at the foyer of the terrace level. Let me show you the Hilton. There's this entrance on the lobby level down here. You could enter by the lobby, come downstairs, and then there's this terrace level entrance, and this is where Ronald Reagan was shot. And I think the guy came in right through there. He would have crossed past the elevators, hung a left. These are the doors. They would have been shut. He would have ran right there and then got stopped right at the stairs. And bam, they got him. And bam, they got him. If we continue going downstairs, you can see how close he might have gotten. Here's the thing. It's a ginormous ballroom. 2,600 people in here. The stage is way up there. So even with a pretty good rifle, with all the security there, if he had got down to that level, nothing would have happened. And this was all filled with tables. So he wouldn't have been able to get anywhere close. You know, that's the other side of the room there. So it makes sense that people in the room didn't necessarily recognize the gunshots for what they were, basically on the other side of a building. The news cameras happened to be on the edge of some of the doorways where the sound would have traveled down through the stairs. But up on stage, when you look at the footage, no one reacts, really. They only kind of notice that people are moving around once security pipes up. So go ahead and hunt around on the Washington Hilton 3D tour. Have fun with your floor plans and your maps.
All right, so I got a gist of that. And you know what's crazy is the suspect probably did the same thing. He mapped his path out. This is where I got to go. This is how far I got to get down. And to be honest, he was never close to anywhere with the President of the United States of America. Let's get to Jimmy Kimmel's sorry self, man. This is one of the most ridiculous things I ever seen. I was just on Piers Morgan with Mark Lamont Hill's sorry self. And he'd say, oh, this was funny. It was funny. It was comedic. He's a comedian. He could say this. Listen to what Jimmy Kimmel said. And you tell me, is this funny to you or not? Roll it.
Our First Lady Melania is here. Look at Melania, so beautiful. Mrs. Trump, you have a glow like an expectant widow.
Now think about this. An assassination attempt on his life multiple times. Interesting enough, the day that he said this, it was another assassination attempt on his life. These leftists are strategically normalizing violence against President Donald Trump. That's what they're doing. They're normalizing the violence. Therefore, psychologically, you hear that he's Hitler every 5 minutes. You hear he's a racist every 5 minutes. He's destroying America every 5 minutes. He's a king. He's a dictator. He's dictator-in-chief every 5 minutes. And then you joke about his assassination. You joke about him getting killed. You joke about his wife being a widow. You're creating this cycle of normalization of violence and death against Donald Trump. And you telling me this is not orchestrated? You telling me these people aren't working together to do this? We know what it is. All right, give me the next clip. Clip 201. Roll it.
Right now, the First Lady Melania Trump apparently calling on ABC to fire Jimmy Kimmel. This appears to be in response to a segment that Kimmel aired days before the White House Correspondents' Dinner. In that segment, Kimmel said the First Lady had the glow of a, quote, expectant widow. And now we have this response. The First Lady writing on X the following, quote, Kimmel's hateful and violent rhetoric is intended to divide our country. His monologue about my family is not comedy. His words are corrosive and deepens the political sickness within America. It is time for ABC to take a stand. How many times will ABC's leadership enable Kimmel's atrocious behavior at the expense of our community, end quote. For the second time now in the past 2 weeks, the First Lady taking a public stand. A few weeks back, she made a statement asserting that the rumors about Jeffrey Epstein and connections to her were baseless. And now we have this response to Jimmy Kimmel just in.
All right, so if you want to read her the totality of what she said, you can freeze the screen right here, hit pause, watch it, and resume the live stream. If you're watching this after it's live, you can do the same thing. Just pause it and read it if you want to read it. Here's Donald Trump, his statement as well. I think we have his statement. And then, again, if you want to read the whole thing, I'm not going to read it. It's way too much stuff to read, and y'all know I can't barely read that good anyway. So freeze the frame, read it yourself, and then you can go on from there. Caroline Levitt goes on to blast Jimmy Kimmel. We don't need to play the whole thing. Y'all can imagine what Caroline Levitt has said about Jimmy Kimmel. All worth it. Donald Trump calls for NBC Jimmy Kimmel to be fired as well. Is that a tweet or a video? Okay, that's the tweet we just played. So I think y'all got the gist of what's going on. I want to hear your comments in the comment section. Do you think that it was inappropriate by Jimmy Kimmel? You know, there's a difference between joking and like insinuating. And like I said, perpetuating the whole idea of the desensitizing. I wonder how you say desensitization. I don't know if that's even a word. But desensitizing your mind to the assassination attempt of President Donald Trump. And it's not that it's a one-off. Because a lot of people are like, oh, it's just a joke. It's just a joke. I'm telling you, it's a continuation. Here's an example of what I'm saying. Let's put these leftists on here and we'll show a continuation of what they've been saying and how they've been promoting and normalizing it. On television, live. Roll the clip.
Let me ask you tonight, do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do.
This is what kicking the shit out of fascism looks like.
Try to prevent the spread of the lawlessness and the fascist chaos that's been unleashed against us.
So when we say Donald Trump is a fascist, fascism, a huge component of fascism is uniting racism, bigotry, a form of racist nationalism.
We are now living in a fascist dictatorship.
Country, we are worried about potential rise of fascism in this country. We're worried about our democracy falling to an authoritarian and potentially fascist form of government.
Not only to roll over to Donald Trump's will, but to roll over our democracy and allow him to take over this country as a fascist dictator.
When fascism isn't just coming, it's already here.
The former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Mark Milley, said, no one has ever been more dangerous to this country than Donald Trump, and he is a fascist to his core.
Now, I want y'all to think about this for a minute. Now, we know these people, they're stupid. They're Looney Tunes. We look at them and we go, this is the stupidest thing I ever heard in my life. But just imagine if you believe them. That's why somebody would drive from L.A. with a gun and risk their entire life. They're either going to get killed or they're going to do the rest of their life in prison. Because every day on television, he's a fascist. He's running America. He's the biggest threat to everybody. He's a king. He's a dictator. He's never going to leave office. He's going to ruin the country. Everybody's going to be eating out trash cans. Look, he's only feeding the rich. When you say that, sugar, honey, iced tea every day, these weirdo nut jobs, beta males, retarded women are all delusional. And they believe it and embody it. You know how stupid you got to be to believe any of this stuff? Look at this chick. Put her on the screen. She worked for somebody's school. I think they got a number on here somewhere, to the number to the school. I thought they had a number to the school. Listen to this dumb broad. Roll the clip.
Man, there's been a few creators on here saying that like Friday or yesterday could have been the day. And then I wake up to that news, but not that news. We're gonna have to pay really close attention to what they're trying to actually distract us from.
God damn it, they missed again. Who doing the shoot? Bitch, where my wine? That it pissed me off again.
Why can none of you aim across a grassy knoll in the back of a moving car? We were real Americans. Stop pulling the trigger unless you have the shot.
Missed again? Oh my God. Oh, I'm already crying.
Imagine faking your own assassination attempt for the third time and then everybody's just upset that it wasn't real and that you didn't croak.
I wake up each morning hoping he has died. I go to bed each night hoping by the time I get up in the morning, he has died. For the love of all things good, just die.
They missed again? It's America. They missed again.
If somebody misses one more time, nobody wants to work these days. Nobody wants to get out there and work.
Until I see a Charlie Kirk level video of Trump getting shot, I will not believe that it wasn't a setup by his own camp. Just like I don't believe that he was ever shot, ever. Like, he never was shot. I don't believe that. It doesn't make any sense that this man allegedly had 2 guns and a knife, got through security, and then was able to get feet away from Donald Trump, fire multiple shots. No one was shot. It's a clear video of everything happening, and Donald Trump is able to post it on Truth Social hours later. Yeah, no, it's not real. And maybe that makes me a bad person, but I don't care. Because guess who's worse of a person? The convicted rapist, the convicted felon, and the alleged pedophile, our president, Donald J. Trump. Don't care.
All right. I can't handle no more. I'm gonna lose my salvation. I would love to watch these people burn in hell. I want to just watch it. Give me a cup of tea. I could just watch these devils. These people are evil and stupid. I see how nations end up doing genocide. I'm being honest. I don't want to see it. But if it happened, I'm not. Hey, I hate what these people do. They are evil and stupid. We will have a great country, perfect, beautiful, land of opportunities. We'll grow and prosper and innovate, and everybody's free, and you can. But these devils, every day, they just waste their time wishing that the man died. Well, I wish. Never mind. Can we just get it on? Right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Let's line up, us and y'all. Let's go at it. Let's see how it end up. Every day, these people are so stupid. I don't care how much I hate these Democrats or what they do and how they act. I would never get on a show and be like, I can't wait for Joe Biden to. What are you saying? You're a grown woman. Y'all working on a job somewhere, and you saying that. Then you got this dumb hamburger heifer. Roll the clip.
It's odd to me that in a place that is teeming with Secret Service, with Washington, D.C. police, with all sorts of law enforcement, this could happen. But also, I think people jump to that conclusion that it is staged because Trump lies. He lies constantly, daily, and pathologically. So people do not trust and do not believe anything Trump says. His lips are moving. The likelihood is he is lying.
I'm running out of time. I just want to reiterate how stupid these people are. Donald Trump is lying about actual people who we see on camera shooting people. You see the guy run through the lobby and shoot somebody. You see at Butler, Pennsylvania, people got shot. Somebody died. Like, that's you think that's staged, but Ilhan Omar getting somebody squirt something out of syringe of sugar water, and y'all swear to God that's real. None of what she did looked reasonable whatsoever. And y'all, yeah, oh my God, that's totally real. Donald Trump, people are getting shot and killed, and you think that's not real. And Ilhan Omar doing it, let's fight. That's how you would act if somebody put a chemical agent on you. You gonna fight. You 100 pounds with a weight vest on, and you acting like you, because you know it's staged. The dude ain't finna do nothing to he right in front of her. And he backs up. He put sugar water on her, and he backs up. Man, if you wanted to get her, you just jumped over the podium and got her. Or you'd have put some chemical in that thing. It's fake. And then they talking about Trump. Y'all believe Justice Smollett. Remember that? Oh, this is so terrible. It's just the racism in America. Anybody that's not stupid knew that fool lied. Bubba Wallace. It was a noose in the garage at NASCAR. Everybody knew he was stupid and lied. These people are clearly lying, but y'all believe that. Donald Trump got people going to prison for life, getting shot and killed by Secret Service, and y'all think that's staged. The guy from Butler took a dome shot, and you say that's staged. You see his brains rolling down the thing, that's staged to you? This fool just got charged, and he's gonna spend the rest of his life in prison, and y'all think that's staged. You dumb mother, you know what, boy, y'all wasted, y'all a waste of oxygen. Oh my gosh. Come on, play this dumb hamburger heifer with the cackling hens on The View. Roll it.
But now that room was full of some of the most important political leaders in the country right now.
Right.
Now they know, they've lived it in their own flesh, the fear that our school children go through.
Yes.
Now they know what it's like to have to jump under a table the way that school children jump under a desk. And we are a
Hold
country.
on a second. Let's just put this in perspective. You know how stupid you got to be to say this. Our school children. First of all, the likelihood of a school shooting happening at your school near you is rare. It is nearly never going to happen. And it's just millions of schools, and it happens at these one-off chances of it happening. If you're a security school, it'll never happen at a school. But you dummies y'all want gun-free zones because you're stupid, and therefore you want the kids to get shot up. You don't want the teachers to have a gun. Y'all fools don't want the police to be at the school because it's threatening to the kids. Y'all want the kids to be just sitting ducks and then want to blame the government. You can secure the school, have armed teachers at the school, and put armed personnel at the school, and you'll never see a school shooting. But y'all don't want that. This is what, now they know what it feels like. Shut the front door. All right, let me go to the next topic. Charlamagne's stupid self. Roll it.
Because the fact, whenever something like this happens to Donald Trump, whenever there is an assassination attempt, whenever there is some type of political violence that happens at, one of these events, people always say, so are we going to tone down the violent rhetoric towards Trump? Stop it. Like, I'm sick of that narrative. I need every single media personality to direct that energy and that question towards one person and one person only, and that person is President Donald J. Trump. At what point do...
All right, I'm running out of time, so I can't play this whole thing. You know how stupid it sounds? You say, well, he doing it so I can do it. You're stupid. Hey, you are stupid. He need to tone his rhetoric. No, how about you tone your rhetoric because you can control your rhetoric. Well, if he don't tone down the rhetoric, I'm not going to tone down the rhetoric. I'll call him stupid, but I'm going to be stupid too because he's stupid, so I'm going to be stupid. All you got to do is the media has a responsibility to be impartial. Just tone down your rhetoric. Quit lying about the man every single day of the week. And then if he's doing it by himself, it's obvious that he's doing it for no reason. But no, you guys are doing it. He's responding to you. Y'all don't want to turn the rhetoric down. Every day you call him a fascist, doing all kind of crazy stuff. Listen to Don Lemonhead. He just got off the back of that other man. Now he want to get on the podcast. Roll the clip.
Rhetoric really matters, and I believe that genuinely across the board. And that's not a one-sided principle. It applies to everyone. But I cannot say with a straight face, and nobody can say that with a straight face in the world that we live in right now, that Democrats saying Trump is terrible for this country is the same thing as Donald Trump standing in front of a crowd on January 6th and telling them to march to the Capitol and fight like hell. I cannot say those things are equivalent because they are not. I am so sick of false equivalence. It drives me crazy. Because because these things are not equivalent.
Why are you gay? He get it from his mama. Get it from his mama. Boy, nagging like a woman. Bruh, first of all, since you can't say it with a straight face, say it with a gay face then. How about you say that there's a big difference between Donald Trump being messy and somebody's hoping he dies or attempted to kill him. Those things are different. And I don't want to hear nobody tell me anything different. All right, hold on. I got a few more. I'm gonna be 5 minutes late. Let's get to the other thing. What was the other topic we were gonna hit on? Dang it, I'm gonna miss the Erica Kirk thing. Let me just say this about Eric Kirk. Give me 5 minutes. We already know who the dummy of the day is. Let's play the dummy of the day real quick. I wish they would shot him. All right, let's go to the next clip. All right, Erica Kirk, real quick, 5 minutes. I'm telling you guys, the most crazy thing I've ever heard in my life, the most bizarre behavior by human beings that I've ever seen in my life, almost. It's at least top 5. Number 1 in this dispensation of time is how people are treating Erica Kirk. Give me the full screen, because I'm going to talk about this maybe later. You are a sorry sack of dog poo. If you're going to sit around and say that you are a fan of Charlie and you bashing that man's wife like that, she can't even go to a dinner without you nut jobs saying she on a date with Lawrence Jones. Do you think that Erica Kirk is going to publicly go to a dinner and with a new man in public? Y'all can't be that stupid. Do you really think that Erica Kirk is basking in the fact that her husband got killed so she can run Turning Point USA? You can't be that stupid. Y'all stupid, boy. You think that woman sitting on a couch in a big $4-5 million house playing with her kids? Just let Charlie Kirk just running it up. She ain't got to do nothing if she don't want to. And you telling me she'd rather be slaving at Turning Point USA, listening to you dummies every day talk about her, when she didn't have to listen to none of this, and she's sitting there with Charlie Kirk is on his way to being a billionaire and being the next president. If you think she chasing clout, she want to be the first lady, wouldn't she? Y'all all stupid, and I'm telling you stupid, and you're going to hell. Going after this woman like this. No evidence. She moved on so fast. Some idiot said, "Where's her kids at?" You know where her kids at? You think Erica Kirk went all the way to DC without her kids? Y'all stupid, boy. Her kids are probably at the hotel with the nanny. You know, they got money. For all you broke dummies out there, you know, people got money. She probably flew private with her kids. What are y'all talking about? You claim that she money hungry, and look, she running Turning Point USA, $100 million company. You say she rich and she taking advantage of it, but you think she too poor to take her kids with her to DC on a private jet. God is my witness. I'm never going to understand this. I'm never going to understand how the woman can't wear whatever pants she want to wear. I can't understand how you fake Christians out here. The woman believes in God, so therefore God gives her the strength so she can put on a cute face so she can do God's work and not sit at the house like you dumb fake Christians with no faith and no Holy Ghost. Of course you would be crying yourself to sleep every night and can't function. Well, when you have God on your side, God gives you strength to continue the mission that he put in her husband. God, I'm sick of y'all. And I had to get this off my chest. I hope all y'all burn. That woman ain't done nothing but just be herself. And y'all fools worried about sparklers. And she didn't go to an event because it wasn't not enough people. But J.D. Vance, the vice president, is there. But she didn't go. She in the same city, but she didn't go. Turning Point don't need a single person to be at these events. They don't show the crowd anyway, so how would you know? To be honest, a lot of these events, you really just need the people on the stage so you can get the camera angles and get the sound bites. They don't need you to be in the audience. They can show 5 or 6 people on the camera and then play that and the clips go viral. Y'all just be making up stuff. And then people making fun of her. God gonna get y'all. I'm telling you. Charlie Kirk was a man of God. Erica Kirk is a woman of God, and this how y'all treating people of God. Y'all more upset with Erica Kirk than you are the person who shot Charlie Kirk. Y'all gonna pay for it. I just want you to know, when you burning, I'm gonna say, I told y'all quit talking about Erica Kirk like that. Especially when you ain't got no evidence. If you got evidence, come on, bring it. I'll talk about it. You ain't got no evidence. Just making up out your butt. All right, I got to get on this call. I love you guys. I'm out of here.